Welcome back to the Ambition Over Fear portal. I'm Atlas Opia, and I help people expand their interdimensional knowledge. And in today's video, I want to discuss shifting your reality, moving into different parallel realities depending on what you would like to manifest. And the reason this video is very important is because we may have been introduced to the idea that we're more than a body and we're an eternal spiritual being by going into the law of attraction, or by understanding that we have more control in our life than we think we do, and we're not just a victim of circumstances. So if you watch till the end of this video, I'm going to dive into what it truly means to shift into new realities and why the wording may just be a little bit fluffed. And when you understand what this means, you realize that you may have been doing it all this time. Okay? So step one in shifting realities is to first go into what it means. So whatever you're experiencing right now on Earth is a result of what you're unconsciously or consciously choosing to align with. It is less of the fact that you're a human living this reincarnation, and more of your interdimensional soul that has powers beyond your human understanding is deciding to associate to certain types of energy in this matrix, and that is being done using your body. So when you realize that most of the time we are on autopilot, we are unconsciously moving through our days and allowing this story of who we are to kind of guide where we're going next, or how we react to the experiences we endure while we're trying to move towards our goals. And it doesn't really matter, the severity of how attached you may be to your body or your identity. What really comes into place is understanding that even if you're very conscious and you've spent a lot of time understanding that you're not this identity and you're not this body, eventually you do have to come back into the matrix after your awakening and ascension and decide how you reprogram the code to better fit what your soul wants to experience. So shifting a reality is you moving into a state where you're not as attached to your pain. You're not as attached to the redemption that you may subconsciously want as a result of different traumatic experiences that have happened in your life. It's very easy to allow the idea of success or building a good romantic relationship or having joy in life to come from this feeling of we're doing it so we can prove to ourselves that we're not this victimized version of who we are that may have came up during different parts of our past. Instead, we're choosing to have a different experience. See, there is a difference between responding to trauma and being on the defensive and feeling as if you have to change or you have to grow into a new place in your life because you may be running from parts of who you are or parts of this world that have caused pain for you. So shifting realities is taking a moment to realize that your interdimensional soul is connecting to a specific energy in the collective consciousness and then associating that into your body. Once you realize that, shifting realities is just moving into your higher self, moving into a place where you realize that this experience as a human is you getting an opportunity to be in the Earth simulation as a human for another time, and you're kind of playing this interesting game. Instead of you are stuck in this body, and how are you gonna make it out? And everything seems so fixed. So that's one thing to remember when shifting realities, is all you're doing is deciding to interact with this hologram differently. All you're doing is going into your soul and saying, you know what, in this interesting intergalactic supercomputer and this interesting virtual reality that is Earth, I'm gonna decide to experience something else. The same as we would do when we're deciding to watch something else, in a form of media, or we're changing the channel on a TV, or watching a different documentary, or eating a different food, or choosing to play a different video game. All these things really are you deciding, okay, I'm gonna have a different type of experience. I'm going to broadcast a different energy in this interesting simulation. And I'm going to just live differently now here. Okay? Step 2 in your shifting realities is to remember that your third eye is here to go beyond the solid structure of reality. Your third eye, is not meant to be used as an escape tool. It is meant to give you the opportunity to move into your soul, which is formless, so you can change the form that you're living out on Earth. It allows you to see something from a different dimension. So remember now, regardless if you're very attuned to kind of activating your third eye, or you may be wanting to learn that, one way to kind of tap into this energy is move into a space where you're feeling into energy that is beyond your 5 senses. And this can happen by observing anything in this external world and asking yourself, what is the energy that had to be there for this physical manifestation in the third dimensional matrix to actually become what it is? You start asking yourself, where does something come from? And when you start to ask those questions, your imagination, which is your connection to the universal mind, it is you playing with the quantum field, will take you from looking at an experience or aspect of this world from one layer, and now you're seeing all the different layers of energy that may come before this has to show up. You're more attuned to the vibration rather than what the vibration makes. Okay? So step 3 in shifting realities is allowing yourself to face the part within that has a fear of letting go. Do you want to know why that fear comes up? It is because our identities, our subconscious mind, and all of the thought patterns and beliefs that it's comprised of have a job. And their job, when you came into this matrix during birth, is to keep your soul in this matrix for the duration of the reincarnation. Because some people are not wanting, or they're not meant to awaken beyond the idea that they're just a human. Some people are just meant to be a person living in the matrix from birth to death, and that is what they're called to do, and that is completely okay. But the reason why human beings are able to be in this matrix without any interruptions, without them seeing it fall apart, is because you as a formless soul moving into form in the third dimensional matrix requires that you are part of a system that keeps it all into place. And so when you're going beyond your body, or beyond the association you have with this matrix, and you're going beyond your identity, that subconscious mind, that version of who you are and what you've been since you've been in this body, wants to stay alive, because the purpose of any energy in this universe is to survive and stay alive. So instead of fighting your mind, or fighting your identity, or fighting your body, because on one level you know that reality is bendable and you can move into any experience of this life that you want, and then on another level, you feel this resistance. And it could be because you're fighting your identity and you're fighting the stagnation in your life, when in reality, you just have to understand it. So understand that the mind, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, they're all there as a way for you to interface with this world. And in order for you to interface with reality on a multidimensional level, you have to heal the relationship you have with your identity, or your subconscious beliefs and thoughts and traumas, and be more friendly and less judging. Because when you realize that your mind and this structure of intellect is just trying to keep you in this reincarnation, because that's what its job was when it was designed at the time, then you can understand that when you are trying to astral travel, or go beyond your body, or move beyond this timeline, and you feel that fear of death, it is just your identity feeling threatened because you're going beyond it, and it doesn't know what to do. All right? Step 4 in shifting realities is almost attuning your mind to a level of power that your soul has always possessed, but your human mind has forgotten. Which is, what if you hearing about portals and people astral traveling, and you performing these things yourself, is meant to give you a way to use your imagination to move through reality differently. It's almost like when you're activating your third eye, and you can imagine a spindle of energy going out or in, you allow yourself to travel the realms of the universe with your imagination. You allow yourself to be in this body, aware to the experiences that are happening in this present moment. But at the same time, you dimension surf, and you feel that another part of your consciousness is traveling through different dimensions. Now, this question always comes up, well, how do these different dimensions work? What am I supposed to look for? This is when you activate that inner child, that sense of curiosity within. You start to use your mind as an interesting tool and a toy almost. And you imagine that even though you're sitting here and watching this video, you are also taking your consciousness, and you have to practice this, and it's going through different layers of dimensions, and your imagination can make that look like whatever it has to look like. And every time may be different, but you may see particles moving around, then you may move to another reality, and then you see sacred geometry, then you may move to another reality and you see all this language and coding, right? The key to shifting realities is to allow your human mind to agree to the universal law that your imagination is the key into interdimensional exploration, that your imagination is how you access alternate levels of consciousness, and not that your imagination is made up or that you're just daydreaming or making things up. Because we all have been told these things growing up, and they're not true, because false information and a lack of awareness has been passed down from society to society, from generation to generation. And it is our job to explore the unknown, right? And that is the key to shifting realities, is practicing the psychic muscle, using your third eye and your curiosity and your imagination and your creativity to imagine going through different realms, imagine going to different planets, break that mold of fear and realize that you are your soul and not your body or your identity. So if your body and identity are going through fear, then move into the dominant position of your higher self and act as a parent to your identity and your body, and tell your body that it's safe. Send energy from your higher self down into your body from the top of your head and communicate with your body from your higher self that you are safe, there's nothing to fear. Realize where that fear is coming from. Okay? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely share to anyone that you believe is dealing with an adversity that this understanding could help cure or assist in. Subscribe, and remember, I have a video every Tuesday and Thursday. And also, if you feel as if your hypersensitivity is overbearing and there is a level of your soul that wants your mind to move into new understandings of how consciousness works, but it's a bit intimidating, then I want you to consider my galactic quantum coaching if you feel called to it. And also, if you're a interdimensional alchemist, so if you're going beyond the art of personal transformation, if you're going beyond, transforming your identity in your mind, which is very important, but you are actually a different being in another reincarnation. You're a star seed, a God seed, or an angelic seed, and you feel that there is something you were. There is a part of your soul you're not truly understanding, but you want to know more. I also can read your akashic records in my coaching, and I've developed an inventory of interdimensional skill sets that I've channeled specifically for people that are not from here, right? Your soul is playing a human, but you know that you have had a reincarnation in a higher dimension, and you want to understand how to interact with the universe in a more translucent manner. All right? Well, I'll talk to you guys soon, and you have a great day. Bye.